A relationship between two people is built upon a few key aspects. The most important key to a successful relationship is communication. In The Painted Door, the readers go on a journey of the character Anne and how she progressively goes through the act of cheating. Anne does not bother to resolve her conflicts and improve her and John's relationship. She refuses to talk to John because she thinks, why sit trying to talk to a man who never talked? Why talk when there is nothing to talk about? Page 2. The readers can perceive Anne's lack of communication as how little faith she has in her husband. Because of Anne's perception of John, she learns the hard way that doubting your spouse can lead to an unhealthy relationship. Anne is constantly questioning her relationship because she is immature and ignorant. When Anne says to herself that another man would have put his wife first, page 3, Anne is unable to see John's motive of going into the storm because she is too selfish, and her disbelief is what caused her to ruin her marriage with an honorable and humble man. The lines from the song Say Something by Great Big World.
Say something, I'm giving up on you. I'm sorry that I couldn't get to you. Anywhere I would have followed you.
Completely relates to how slowly Anne was losing faith in John and how she regrets it in the end.
In The Painted Door, Anne is portrayed as a lonely and needy person when John leaves her to help his father, and she started making comparisons again. His face so different to John's, so handsome and young and clean-shaven. Anne tries to make herself feel less guilty when she cheats on John. She had the grievance to justify her rebellious thoughts to prove John responsible for her unhappiness. Song, it shows how she was cheating on her loved one with his friend, and the line goes, all because I was making out with their friend. And in the story, The Painted Door, Anne cheats on John with Stephen because she felt lonely and needy for that love. The artist tries to justify her actions by blaming the other person for her being unhappy, and Anne does the same. Instead of taking responsibility for her actions, she blames John. The artist sings this song because she's not happy with her relationship, which also reflects back on Anne because Anne is also not happy with her marriage, and to get that excitement in her life, she had to cheat on John with Stephen.
Anne questions her relationship with John when she says, if he'd listen to me sometimes and not be so stubborn, we wouldn't be living still in a house like this. Another man would have put his wife first. Anne tries to convince herself that she did have a grievance to justify her rebellious thoughts, to prove John responsible for her unhappiness. She believes that John made her complaints seem weak and tribal. Anne blames John for her unhappiness. She wants John to listen to her and not to ignore her. She wants her words to hold an importance in John's life.
Can't stay. Baby, it's cold outside. I gotta go away. Baby, it's cold outside.
In the song, Baby It's Cold Outside, originally written by Frank Loesser, the song describes the situation and conflict that goes on between John and his wife. I really can't stay, baby it's cold outside. I've got to go away, baby it's cold outside. These lyrics describe when John tells his wife he has to go and she refuses to let him because of the storm. He leaves and goes anyways, which shows that Anne wants John to listen to her and not to ignore her.
The first example of reform is personification. It's when Anne was looking out the window and noticed that all across the yard the snow was shivering awake. The storm is significant because it relates to Anne's anger and her sorrow. Another example of warmth is when Anne slept with Stephen to conquer her loneliness. By making that mistake, it led to John going back into the storm, which resulted to his death. They found him the next day less than a mile from home, on the palm, while even against the frozen whiteness was a little smear of white paint. While she was determined to get over the feelings of loneliness, in the end she lost her husband.
No, I can't take one more step towards you, 'cause all that's waiting is regret. And don't you know I'm not your ghost anymore? You lost the love I loved the most. I learned to live half a life, and now you want me one more time. And who do you think you are, running around leaving scars, collecting a jar of hearts and tearing love apart? You're gonna catch a cold from the ice inside your soul, so don't come back for me. Who do you think you are?
The other example of warmth is you're gonna catch a cold from the ice inside your soul, which is another metaphor. This relates to Anne giving negative traits about John and feeling that he doesn't give her enough attention. This can lead to John and seeing Stephen and Anne and Ben having to go back out into the storm, which causes him to freeze to death. In the song, there's a very small metaphor that is used. The part "I learned to live half a life" is a metaphor. It's a figure of speech because you can't actually live half a life. It relates because it describes how Anne is lonely and she constantly feels as if she has to deal with the fact that she's not getting enough love or attention from John. So it feels like a part of her is already dead.